Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Counselor's Couch 101. Um, yep, I'm still Jim Stump after all this time. Um, if you want to reach me, please send me an email over at counselorscouch101 at mail.com. Now, I know I've not been able to keep up with the correspondence. I work a full schedule and I've got a lot of demands on my time, people asking for attention, et cetera, and reports to write and all that. So some of you I haven't been able to get back to, and I apologize. I'll do my best. I'm trying to keep up with the workload. But there seems to be a theme going into this next year. The theme is fear, I guess. It's like folks are calling up and they're worried about things. They're worried about what's going to happen to the country, what's going to happen to the world. And a lot of folks are focused on finances. Someone out there is saying that we're going to have another major depression, or there's going to be catastrophic effects on the worldwide economy, and everybody's going to have to feel it. Um, but the thing of it is, and of course we all know this to be true, worrying about it doesn't help it in the least. It doesn't do a thing, right? It just takes your energy away from you, and energy that you could be using to find solutions to whatever your particular situation is, right? I'm sure you all know that. And I know to say, yeah, easy to say, hard to do. I'm aware of that as well. Um, but it's almost as if you let your mind run amok, then your brains, your memories, your thoughts are controlling you. And it should be the other way around. You own the brain does not own you. And you are not subject to whatever the brain comes up with, and especially in times of extreme anxiety and extreme negativity, right? You don't need to let it control you. The first thing to do is to recognize that it's just your brain talking at you, it's not reality. But let us say there is something in reality. Let us say, like a lot of people talk about, they have concerns about finances. If that's the case, analyze your situation and decide what you can do. Set a plan and go after it. Now, um, oftentimes we're going to set a plan, we're going to find out it doesn't work. And that's fine. It's like the ship sailing from Los Angeles to Honolulu, right? The ship does not sail in a straight line. It is subject to wind, it's subject to current, it's subject to all sorts of things. It could be the weather slowing it down or speeding it up. And so the ship adjusts constantly as it's going from one point to the other point. It's adjusting constantly until it finally gets there. We may have to do that in our lives as well. We say, what's the most important thing I need to focus on at this point, right? Whatever that is, and start moving towards your goal. Say, I need a certain amount of something, and figure out a way to get there and then head toward it. And as you go, if you find out new information is affecting what you thought you were going to do, well, then adjust, go with it, right? I remember, I've never forgotten this too, when I was in college, a professor would say, do your research, right? When people would come up and be asking questions of the professor about the coursework and et cetera, just bombarding him. And he would just say, look, folks, the whole idea is do your research, and all your answers will be solved right then and there, because the research will contain your solutions and your answers, right? And that really works. Also, another thing I thought that made a huge impact upon me and my decision making process. I don't remember who first said it, but somebody said something to the effect, maybe it was Einstein, if you get the question right, then the solution or the answer should be obvious, right? That's the deal. And I was discussing that with a gentleman yesterday. I said it's a question of adding up all the particulars, right? Um, let's say I don't know. I want to earn $5,000. Okay. Well, what's the length of time that you have to earn the $5,000? What are the possibilities about earning that $5,000? Is it a doable goal? Can it actually be reached by you and where you are? Do you have the skills and the wherewithal to do the sorts of plans that you've already decided to do? You keep adding parts to the question until you get the question perfectly formed, And then the answer will be obvious to you because there's not going to be a whole lot of choices usually in most of the things we're trying to do in life, right? If we get enough particulars in it, all those things sort of hammer the question in place, and then the solution is the one that's going to be the most easily attainable or the most readily or the most beneficially obtainable. We're going to go for that. Another thing about worry going into this new year and about things coming up is stay busy, right? Focus on something that's going to be beneficial to you in these conditions and stay busy. If you can remember two words that are going to help you through any sorts of anxiety or worry, those would be the two I would recommend. Stay busy. And if you can stay busy being focused on solutions to whatever it is you need in your circumstance, that would be admirable and it would be helpful, it would be beneficial. Even if you don't get there, it takes your mind off the negativity, right? Focuses you on something, right? I keep telling folks, I say, look, pick a goal. All we have in life is time. That's it, right? And when your time is used up and all that, what do you want to be able to look back and say that you accomplished? Focus on that. I've had conversations with one couple that they said their goal in life is to see the entire world. They want to travel the entire globe and see it all. That is an entirely doable goal. It can be done, and it can be done by them. They're professional people. They earn good money. They're figuring out how to make their schedules work so they can take trips often. They're often, the last few years, I don't know what's going to happen next year, but last few years, they were planning trips like every 6 weeks. They'd hop on a plane and go to the other side of the globe for 4 days. And that was what they're looking for. They just wanted to blast over there, see what it looks like, feel what the culture's like, test the food, take in the sights. If there's any sorts of things that might be fun to do or amusements, you want to see the Great Wall of China, whatever it is, go see it, do it, and then they blast back, and then they immediately start saving and planning for the next trip, right? Their goal is to see the world. Other folks tell me, and I like this one, one man said, I want to watch my children grow. I think that's a great goal. Watch my children grow is his goal. So he sets things up to allow him to do that. By the way, he's one of those that I've mentioned previously who work from home, and he set that up intentionally because he just wanted to be around his kids. I know the kids go to school and all, but he gets to see them in the morning, gets to see them when they come home, and like that. And he can take a little break from his job and interact with his children for a few minutes, and he's loving every minute of it because that's what he wanted to do, was to watch those children grow. And he wants to watch the grandkids too, but hopefully he won't be as busy at that point. Those are focusing on things that can take your mind off wherever the worries are. We're all in it. We all know it. And of course, the government is going to support us in every way that it can. Apparently, they seem to have been doing that for the last few years, trying to get folks through difficult times. Win, lose, or draw. Maybe you don't like the solutions they're coming up with, but something will occur, and we have to use the elements that are available to us. So if that is assistance that's going to get us to where we want to go, then of course you should take advantage of it. But the whole idea is to continue to move forward. And like I say, stay busy. If you can focus on something that'll benefit you as to the goals you're trying to accomplish, that would be best. Another thing that really, really works, and a lot of people tell me they don't believe in religion. I say, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that in the least. But if you believe in something, a lot of folks tell me, they say things like, I'm spiritual, not religious. I completely get that, right? We like to be connected to something on the spiritual side, but we don't necessarily believe in what preachers are preaching, or their rules or regulations, or their requirements for financial support. I say that politically correct enough. So maybe we don't agree with all that, but we agree that there's something going on. If we can connect with that, it can calm us down. And if we focus on what the heck it is we're here to do. Now me, I've said this before, and it's just my philosophy. It does not have to be anyone else's. My philosophy of life is we're just passing through. Let me rephrase that. I'm just passing through, and that's how I look at it. If good things happen, I'm grateful. Thank you, Lord. Bad things happen, I say, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this, right? Because very wealthy people aren't people who lost money. Very wealthy people are people who lost money and learned from it and went back and got the money or earned the money back again. They learned from experience, right? They learned from failure, and it set them up for success. Wasn't it Thomas Edison who developed 15,000 ways to make a light bulb? And he said, I didn't fail. I learned 15,000 ways that a light bulb doesn't work. He looked at it that way until he finally came up with something that did work. And of course, you've heard of Ford and his V8 engine. He said he wanted more horsepower and more cylinders, and they kept saying it can't be done. And finally, some engineer figured it out. And that's the same thing we should be doing. We should be figuring things out. By the way, bringing history up to date, let's think about the billionaires of today that we all hear about and whose names we all know. How did they do this stuff, right? They came up with a good idea and they ran with it. They didn't go with what was being told to them. As I understand it, most of them dropped out of colleges, right? And prestigious universities because they had an idea in their mind that they knew they could do, and they didn't require the type of instruction that they were receiving in their university of choice. They stepped out and did something. Now, I know I've had this argument with myself and others. A lot of us, myself included, are not entrepreneurs. We just don't have that sort of a character or that approach to life. We can't pick up a stack of newspapers and stand on the corner and figure out how to make a fortune from it. We're just not that way. Like one gentleman said on a radio talk show, he said, what I have to offer the world is my ability to go to a job and do that job well, and to be consistent and honest and good at what I'm doing. That's what I have to offer. Once again, I said it earlier in a previous post, that is, if we think of ourselves as the CEO of our own corporations, someone suggested that, it wasn't me, it was a self-help person. Think of yourself as the CEO of your own corporation. What is your corporation's mission statement? What are you trying to accomplish? How do you get there? Start figuring out these plans. Put your energy and your intelligence and your knowledge of yourself and your circumstances at work on those things and leave the worries behind. Focus on what's in front of you and what you can accomplish in life. And like I say, stay busy, right? Don't let this brain take up your time and your energy by telling you a bunch of negative stuff. Let go of it. It does not own you. You own it. I swear, sometimes I hear all this crazy talk going in my head, and I just turn around and say, look, shut up. And I'm talking to whatever it is that's creating those negative thoughts. And it works. And I focus on something physical in the room, in the environment, and it takes me out of that negativity, puts me back in the moment and say, okay, what do I need to focus on here and now? What do I need to accomplish? I focus on that, take control of my mind, don't let it control me. A lot of people say that's easier said than done. I say, I know. It takes a bit of practice, but you can learn it, right? It does not control you. You control it. You own it. So the idea is going forward, and then it's a question of the only thing we have to fear is worry. That's it. All we have to fear is worry. Get rid of the worry, and the fear is gone. We take steps and move forward. If times are tough, then we deal with it. We cope with it, but we don't succumb to it. We don't defeat ourselves in our mind before we've taken any action. Go out and do something. Stay busy. The only thing you have to fear is that brain, that voice in your head telling you all kinds of negative stuff. Get rid of it. Stay busy. Stay focused on your goals, and don't let this thing tell you otherwise. Thanks for dropping by. I look forward to talking with you next time. Keep those emails coming. I know I'm amiss and in arrears, but I try to keep up. I can always use your ideas, so thank you very much. And we'll talk to you very soon. Take care.